Everyone's like, oh, look, here comes Pennsy Joe bringing the Pennsylvania stuff because really test the LED in the headlight, but we'll take this quite well by all. Regular combination, she's all that Sheet at 10. Proceed to 15. Hey everybody, this is Pennsy Joe, back again for another TCS WOW install, and this time we're doing a part 2 for the Paragon 4 I1sa Decapod, the Pennsylvania Railroad locomotive, and we're going to be doing a short tender this time. It's going to be a little bit different. It's not going to be as long, I would hope so, but without further ado, let's get into the video and get started with the tender. Alrighty, so in order to get the tender off, you got to put your finger right here and then push up right around here and then use your other finger to try and get your nail or whatever plastic spreader in between the shell and this frame, because this shell is rather hard to take off. As you can see, there's the tabs right there and on the other side as well. And once you're able to get it up on one side, you gotta try and wiggle it up and really take your time to try and take it off. I really wish Broadway just had like the stocks for the screw holes to come down, because it would have been so much easier to take the shell off if this was screwed on rather than like tabbed on. It's easy to take it off from the C2C tender, but to take it off of, a short tender, there's no really good reason to have tabs on rather than just have screws. I mean, yeah, a couple cents for screws, yay, but Without being said, we got this Paragon 4 decoder that we got to take off. We got to unplug everything. There's a plus and minus for the rear marker light, for the rear headlight. Looks like there would be tabs for marker lights, where those marker lights are pretty much tabbed in with their lamps, including their rear headlight, which is interesting because it looks like there could be a place to put like one of those LED strips that the H10 had during the Paragon 2 days, but it looks like they I guess reuse this tooling for this kind of format. But it's all right. I mean the jeweled marker lights are okay. I think they could have done better with adding actual marker lights, I guess, just to add more value. Just update it. The thing about a rerun is that you can do a rerun like once or twice, and for per generation, but then just add something to it. Add something different. So yeah, so we got the shell off, and then we're gonna take these off, and we're gonna take this decoder bag, open it up. Obviously, I don't have to show you how to open a bag, and we're gonna put this decoder and hardwire it to go down in here. And then we're going to open up the locomotive, and we're going to kind of do it backwards this time. We're going to do the tender first, and then we're going to go into the locomotive, because the tender is the more important part, because obviously there's a limited amount of space, and we got to pretty much use as little wire as possible, so there's not wires flailing around. And we're going to try to locate the decoder right here, and probably put the keep alive in the back. So there's more breathing room for the decoder to get the heat to dissipate off of it. It's not really a thing you have to worry about with the heat, but just make sure it's not just pressed up against something, so that if it does get really hot, it just burns through, and then you can have shorting problems if it's against metal. For example, like this metal weight plate right here that pretty much is screwed down to hold the speakers into place so they don't vibrate as much and make terrible sounds and whatnot. So yeah, I'm going to disassemble this, and then I'm going to do the right rail, left rail, motor minus, motor plus, show you guys, and then we're going to go to the voltage plus, including the headlight as well, because we're going to do something different this time. I've had issues with my coast-to-coast tender I1s where the headlight for the locomotive itself would blow out, and I'm going to try and do something different this time. For the first engine, the resistor was over here that would feed to the rear headlight and the forward headlight from within the tender on the C2C tender. And that headlight blew out. I'm like, okay, let me see if I can split the resistor for this one and then have a path to resistor for this one. Same thing. So I have a hunch that there's something that the boards for the JST female plug on the locomotive, the 3.3 voltage probably touches the right rail and therefore causes like power, to just keep going anyways, and just blows out the LED because there's no mini decoder anymore inside the boiler. So it doesn't have a resistor on there, so there's no resistance to stop the headlight from blowing out. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to put the resistor on the positive inside the locomotive that goes to the JST board, and hopefully that makes a difference. Or I could try to hardwire it through, like, all the way through. But I don't really necessarily want to try and do that. I'm going to see what I can do to just eliminate that problem. But, yeah, it's just one of those things that I think probably kind of goofed up upon. So if you do get this engine, I'll let you know at the end if it worked. But probably just goofed up if you want to hardwire this. I mean, usually on the other engines, you don't have anything touching anything on that board, so you can hardwire to get your headlight to be separate from everything else when it comes to the positivity. So without further ado, let's get into the disassembly. Alrighty, so I do have the right rail, left rail, motor minus and motor plus hooked up. First thing I'm going to do before I do the rest of the heat shrinking for the motor minus and motor plus is to go downstairs and test it on the layout to see if forward is forward and reverse is reverse. And then after that, we'll start doing the headlight and the rear light. I'm going to try and see if I can get the splice so that there's a resistor going to the rear headlight, and then obviously it's going to go to the yellow wire, and then the white wire is going to come to this JST plug, and then the blue wire is just going to keep continuing with the splice, of course, first connecting to the pretty much to this wire, the blue wire first, and then it's going to move forward, go over there, and then after the splice, there's going to be a resistor to then go all the way down to the rear headlight as a positive. And then once those are done, we're going to hook up the speaker, and then we're going to go into the locomotive and finish the lighting for that. It's just one headlight. I don't really have to change anything. I just need to get all that junk out in the boiler and hook up the headlight and put a resistor inside the boiler so that hopefully the LED does not pop out from there. And then everything should be fine from there. And we'll do a final test and see what happens from there. Alrighty, so now everything's wired up. All the cables except the pin 4 and pin 6 are still on the JST plug. I'm just going to leave that in there because I don't really have real use for it for right now. In case I want to do something in the future for whatever reason, I have them there just in case I change my mind and want to do something, whatever it might be. I don't know. Probably won't happen anyways, but it's just there for just in case. We got the electrical tape on the bottom so that nothing can burn through. I taped down the decoder and the for the capacitor so that it doesn't fly around or flop around inside here. The wires are pretty much, kept together so they're not flailing around or anything, and it's not a rat's nest in here. I mean, it's still not the cleanest, but it's better than would have been if I just didn't, cut any of the wires and trim their length. So now I'm going to put the shell back on and call it for there, but I'm not going to put it all the way down yet unless everything is completely working fine. So I'm going to put the shell on, but I'm not going to press it all the way down just of yet. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to go to the locomotive, open it up, and we're going to go and do the headlight and pretty much do a final run. Okay, so I got the resistor hooked up in there. Hopefully everything goes well. All I need to do is just snap back on this cab right here, and we're gonna see how it goes on the layout. Strange enough that thing likes to take its time to come down. Go like this. Should snap back in place. Just gotta push it forward, and then should snap back into place. No, it didn't really snap, which is strange, but there you go. That's how the cab comes off. You can take the cabs off of these, so it's not broken. Pretty cool. And the engine is pretty much ready to go. We'll go down to the basement and do some test running, see how it works. Okay, so this is the moment of truth. We're going to see if the headlight works now. Look at that. Headlight now works completely fine now, which is amazing. It didn't burn out or anything like that. So I think the culprit of the issue was indeed that there needs to be a capacitor up front over here. Otherwise, it just comes up through the rail and just blows up the LED. So, unfortunately, I will need to get LEDs for my other two I1sa's. It's not a huge problem. It's just part of the unfortunates. Your headlight now turns on as well. There we go, nice and bright. We're going to change the whistle. That's not correct.
Central, Chicago, Cleveland, Crosby, Denver, Norfolk, Pennsylvania, Banshee.
Change the bell to the auto bell. And there she goes, moving nice and easy. Let's slow her down again. 1%. Just barely a crawl, which is amazing. I also changed the chuff set. So for those who want to know what the chuff set is, what I'm going to do is press that 4 times, the function 8.
1 for sound programming option.
I'm going to go button 1.
To adjust sound volume.
Go to button 3.
Use button 1 and 2 to rotate through the logo.
I'm going to press
types.
1.
Chufffinity set 2.
And that is a correct Chufffinity set that we're going to use for this.
Saved. Goodbye.
There we go. I'm gonna let her coast a bit. Is the mainline momentum coasting? Pretty cool stuff. So yeah, I had to say this time around, finally I got success with the locomotive. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get some LEDs. I'm gonna see if I can get LEDs online. I don't have any LEDs that can fit inside the headlight, so I'm gonna have to try and get some headlight LEDs and open up the two locomotives to try and get, or basically take their shelves off for the other coast-to-coast tender engines so that I can replace the LED, put a new one in, put the resistor in, and hopefully that should fix everything. I'll probably contact Broadway at some point. I'm not going to do it now or next week. It's going to be further on because they're still going to have the spare parts for this. I'm just going to ask for the LED that goes inside the locomotive, ask for 2 of them. And once I get them, I'll be able to just, hopefully just, you know, take them out and put them in and whatnot. And it'd be a pain in the butt to try and find the right headlight color again by just getting LEDs online. Or somebody might know what type of light this might be. Of course, it does look more blue than it actually is. And in person, it's not as bright, but it's pretty bright. So, yeah, that wraps up this TCS WOW install. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Yeah, we didn't really look inside the locomotive as much. However, I've done the review on this engine, and I've also done another one with the coast-to-coast tender. As you can see right here, we have one with the coast-to-coast tender right here. So yes, there will be a running session video with all 3 running together. I'm probably going to do a triple head with these guys. It'll be really cool. Obviously, the short tender one's going to be leading because, you know, the other 2 don't have any LEDs on, unfortunately. However, during the daytime, steam engines around that era didn't really run their headlights during the day. I forgot what year, or to be honest, I don't think I really know. I don't know. I think I know what year, but to be honest, I don't remember. So there was a year where they started doing this mandate where they have to have the steam engines running with the headlight on. So yeah, my layout's gonna have a cold thing. I don't know if they're gonna have them running at night, but I'm probably gonna want to have the I1s get their LEDs replaced for coast to coast, because the coast to coast tenders do have marker lights running, and I'd love to run these guys at nighttime, which would be really cool. And if you guys saw, I do have these Alco FA units, the AA units right here. I have 2 B units that go with these as well. They are also powered. These are Proto 2000 Alco FA2s. I'm not going to do a video on how I did these. The A units, I'll probably do the B units, and I'm probably going to do the B units very similar to how I did these. If I do choose these guys, let me see if I can get them. It's in forward. I did do ground lights for these for near the ladder. All diesels pretty much had these. So I'm going to probably do it for the B units as well, because the B units, surprise, surprise, have them as well. Diesel B units do have ground lights, not just the A units. So I'm probably going to add ground lights to those as well, even though there's no forward or reverse light. I've also done it on my Broadway Limited E7s, my Pennsylvania E7s. So these guys are going to have them as well. The Pro 2000 engines are rather interesting. However, I'm not going to really discuss more about them in this video. I'll discuss them later when I do a review on these and the B units as well. Now, unfortunately, I did take out the original decoder, and I didn't want to really wait. I was going to get rid of my Bachmann FA2s and keep these. These already have the gears replaced and all that stuff. But anywho, that just goes to show the end of this TCS WOW install review. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And this is Pennsy Joe signing out once again. And I'll see you guys in the next video down the line. Anywho, bye now.
By the shore, hear the the mighty rush of the engine, hear the lonesome hobo squall, riding through the jungle on the Wabash Cannonball. Now here's to Daddy Claxton, may his name forever stand, and may he be remembered in the courts throughout the land. When his earthly race is over, let the curtains round him fall. We'll carry him home to victory on the Wabash Cannonball. Oh, listen to the jingle, the rumble and the roar, as she glides along the woodland to the hill and by the shore. Hear the mighty rush of the engine, hear the lonesome hobo squall, riding through the jungle on the Wabash Cannonball.